So, guys, Cris Carter decided to disrespect Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders and make an excuse for the NFL owners. Now, on this video, it might be 8 to 20 minutes long. There's going to be two halves of this video. I'm going to start off with the first half by breaking down the interview with all the clips and all his points with actual proof and show you that Cris Carter always had a vendetta against Deion and other melanated brothers. Y'all smash the like button, hit the notification bells. I'm not going to even play my intros. Let's start with the video now.
All right. So what happened with Shedeur Sanders?
Well, a number of things happened. The number one thing that didn't happen was there was not a collusion message with the NFL owners.
All right.
So first of all, Cris Carter was the same one who agreed that what happened to Colin Kaepernick was collusion. So now he starts the interview by saying the NFL owners didn't collude when it fits his benefits and narrative. But yet everyone knows that when the NFL has to get things right, billionaires will get together, have meetings, and do whatever X, Y, and Z they need to do. This is how companies and corporations are run, but he wants you to believe none of these guys talk to each other. None of these guys do anything when it comes to the Sanders family. Now, all of a sudden, the owners don't conclude, don't collude. They don't join together to protect whatever their business is for whatever ulterior motives they have. Let's go to question number 2.
What he didn't realize is the guys that have fallen in the draft before, they all had unusual traits. Like they had some superstar qualities to them. Now, some other things happened that made them fall, but
So he lied right there. First of all, through that one, he quickly went through it and said all these other guys that fell, they had some traits. So you say they fall down, but they got drafted because they had some type of skills about them. But Lamar Jackson was a Heisman winner. Lamar Jackson, what did he do to fall? Because you said, well, they did some things to fall. You never explained. Can you tell us why Deshaun Watson fell? This is prior to the masseuse situation. And Pat Mahomes, well, you guys, Todd McShay said Pat Mahomes was a 3rd-round pick. But Cris, could you tell us how Lamar and many other melanated quarterbacks like Justin Fields fell in the draft? What did they do? More excuse making. Let's go to question number 3.
But Shedeur and his family, they overplayed their hand. Them thinking that he was in the same evaluation mode as Eli Manning, they didn't play that right. But Shedeur and his family.
So you now use Eli Manning as an example and his family, which is a bad example because Deion Sanders didn't do anything different than Eli, Peyton, and Archie Manning. And we will be seeing Arch Manning, and I will be rooting for Arch Manning. Unlike you, people who hate Shedeur, I like good football players of all ethnicities. But you said they tried to do like the Mannings and fell. But wouldn't that be you admitting that if we're melanated, we can't do the things that your male counterparts get away with? And you had no embarrassment saying this on a national syndicated platform as yours.
Play that right. Them trying to narrow the teams that he was going to go to, that didn't do right. Not working out the combine, that wasn't the right thing. His interview process, obviously he could have done a lot better in that. A lot of people left that meeting, felt he was very, very entitled. Play that right.
Well, Cris, I got news for you. Many of these NFL coaches said that was a flat out lie. Shedeur conducted himself professionally in the interviews. Number one, if they don't put a name on it, we don't want to hear all these speculations. I can say you're a sherm head and a dope head. Oops. We're going to get that to the second half of the video. You are a sherm head. Second of all, how did he misconduct himself? How did he misrepresent himself when he didn't try to control the narratives of what teams could get him? Deion already spoke up about that. He was just talking, and he clarified it so many times. He doesn't have an issue on the team Shedeur goes to. He said it was hope. He hopes his son goes to a great team that can take care of him, you know, like every other NFL teams. And here's what will make you a hypocrite. The same Mannings you just brought up, well, guess what they did? They actually stopped San Diego from drafting Eli. Well, after they drafted Eli, they got mad in front of all the cameras and everybody and forced him to go to the Giants while Rivers went to the Chargers. Why didn't you bring that up? you're mixing matching again, because you have to think to yourself, why would Cris Carter do that and twist up the word? It shows that you have a motive against Deion, and we're going to get to that, but you're also being not fair and you're being biased. So you're looking at the brother, man, who's melanated like you. You're throwing off rumors and speculations that was never proven, which everybody denied, including people who don't even like Deion said they never heard of that. This was ESPN with their false narratives, and I told you guys about that failed network, ESPN. So once again, you're glazing the Manning family to denigrate and condemn people who look like you. Let's go to the other question.
I know that.
So it's not the tape, and he likes guys to be a little more open before he lets it go, and he doesn't have a big time arm. He's not a big guy. He's not overly athletic. So his measurables are not, say, first round measurables, but he played football like a first rounder.
But his tape's first round tape. But his measurables are not. I know that.
So it's not the tape. And
So I like your co-host on the Fully Loaded podcast because he seems reasonable. So you say it's not the tape, but then you say it's his measurables. He doesn't have any arms. Then you look at all the other Mayo quarterbacks who are always drafted high. I'm going to just say one, Zach Wilson. What measurables did he have? What arm did Zach Wilson really have? Because last time I checked, Shedeur throws deep passes accurately. You know, the guys that you drafted top 10, top 5, who never was available to actually get the ball off to proper receivers who are star receivers. And all the receivers complain about the Zach Wilsons of the world, the Sam Darnolds, all these other guys, the Mitch Trubisky's. What the number one complaint these guys talked about was their measurables. But Cris Carter want to throw out false narratives about Shedeur that was not even proven. You sound like you have excuses when it comes to brothers who look like you.
Human being the rest of the time. And how you're going to be in the locker room, how he already came up with this line of merchandise, legendary, like he's already calling himself legendary. All those things are problems. Human being the rest of the time. And how you're going to be in the locker room.
It sounds like you're just making up things as you go. Almost all NFL top picks have always had their own merchandise. From the Zach Wilsons of the world, from a lot of these guys. Don't let me get started and start breaking it down, but I want to stick to this interview. You seem to be creating fallacies and reasons that has nothing to do and becoming an NFL quarterback. I got this chain on. Does that make me a bad guy now? You're projecting. You're not making valid reasons. You're doing the same thing that other people who don't like melanated people do when you're trying to deter them away. But we're going to get to a lot of these things in the second half. Let's keep going with this failed interview and this hit piece you tried to do on Shedeur and the Sanders family.
They want to get rid of him in the week. They can get rid of him.
He does. Don't we think Shedeur is smart enough to know he's not at Jackson State and he's not at Colorado?
No.
You don't think so?
I listened to too many of his answers. I saw too many of the outtakes. I saw too many times he was working out with other players, and he said things that I thought were highly questionable for my franchise quarterback.
So like what?
When he was working out with Cam Ward, him and Cam Ward, the number one pick.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you want to cut a rap video together? No, I want to be known as a football player.
And he's like, what do you do for fun? He's like, I play football.
Why wouldn't you sit down?
I'm going to show you what's disturbing about that question right there. First of all, you didn't go in depth until what he actually to say to make you not like him. Then you basically alluded to Shedeur not being smart. Why would he compare and contrast and get confused between HBCU, JSU versus actual Power 5, Power 6, such as Colorado? That's you again projecting stereotypes, and that's proof in the pudding. Then you said, when you had a chance to expound upon what you said it's because of video you seen with him and Cam Ward worked out, and he talked about a video, a rap video, and this is why we need Cam Ward to defend Shedeur. But Cam Ward got the biggest pieces of chicken on the plantation. He's not going to defend anybody. He don't want to jeopardize his sponsors. But let's go further. Those videos of Cam Ward and Shedeur being on video, they're not really for NFL teams. Those were actual workouts, two brothers just doing banter amongst each other. Why didn't you bring up some of the questionable things that Cam Ward said on those videos? I can do it, but I love my brother Cam. I'm not about to embarrass him like that. So you took hit pieces to turn them into a problematical problem that never existed. And another thing that makes it bad about that, I seen a reporter who did the same thing to all Colorado football players and act like they had a criminal activity creativity problem when it came to weapons because the guys used the catchphrase that rapper 50 Cent used, get the strap. So it was 7 players who were saying, get the strap. Number one, when they say get the strap, it's alluding to 50 Cent. And in football terms, I'm more skilled than you. But that reporter did the same thing you did, Cris, the Sherm head Carter. He said they have a weapon problem, and all the people ran with it until I was one of the people who broke it out and embarrassed all the ESPN pundits, the Fox Sports, including those Colorado, Denver journalists, so-called journalists. See, that's baffling. That's allowed to be thrown out there with no pushback. But I'm always going to be the man who push back on the cowards that exist. Let's get to the next one.
This whole thing with Deion and the media and everything, like it's out of control. Like, it did not help him. It helped him make money in college because he got followers, but it actually hurt him as far as him getting a job as an NFL quarterback.
You mean as Shedeur, his social media stuff with Shedeur?
Yes.
It hurt him.
Yeah. What else hurt him?
You are a coward, Cris Carter. You're continuously throwing shots at Deion while talking about Shedeur. First of all, Deion has never done nothing to the reporters besides when he was a young man and he threw the water. But as a coach, he's been more than professional. Is he not allowed to respond to people who keep making fake reports on him, hitting him and hitting him and hitting him? So when he finally responds, which he responds in a professional way, he's at fault. You never went in depth about that because you would have got exposed. Why not tell us what he said to the media and what was said about him? You know, the false reports, like Paul Feinbaum tried to coincide with the Colorado reporter who flat out lied about all the reports he put out there because Deion then told the guy, we don't want you. Deion didn't kick anybody else in the media out. He kicked one man who had salacious, disrespectful news that's unbecoming of a journalist, but you didn't go deep into that. You made it look like Deion was the problem and didn't call the other. You are the actual professional victim portraying as a stand-up individual, Cris.
I know
Let me tell you what he understands today.
Okay.
He ain't running shit. Okay?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what, they taught him a great lesson.
Okay.
Like, you don't have this figured out. Your dad don't have this figured out.
Who's they? NFL,
Shedeur?
the world. No, who taught you? Said they taught him. I'm just curious. Like,
Well, the system.
the system. Okay.
So right there, you agree there's a system in play. So instead of calling a system that's biased, you blame Deion and Shedeur. And the way you came off with that question, you said you don't run anything. He learned. They made him learn. Like, you're enjoying it. You agree with that people should utilize their power to unfairly treat people because you're a stepping fetching. Nothing you said right there proved that they were the problem. You actually helped my videos out by explaining cowards like you would tap dance to protect the narratives. But we're going to get to part 2 very soon. Don't worry about it, y'all.
Like, you're going for a job interview. So for his job interview, he was so concerned about, what his outfit was. His necklace was over $100,000. Like, he hadn't even convinced people that you're the face of our franchise. Matter of fact, he had convinced people that they were better off going in a different direction, even with people.
Dude, how did he convince people to hate him by him just being a young man? So once again, you keep bringing up the change. It sounds similar to the stereotypical court jesters of the world and the people who don't like us. You seem to take the same talking points. So you didn't have no valid reasons as to why they didn't draft Shedeur. So you bring these things up. Once again, that's not validated at all. He never tried to control and run the NFL. So why would you say you don't run anything? Then right there, you go into more about his chain than actual serious problems that could have been reasons why he didn't get drafted, because you're trying to audition for something. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to part 2 because we're going to